you fail sometimes and you also succeed. So this photo looks 100% real to me.
It's weird to think that I've kind of been doing this for about 10 plus years. HitFilm is more accessible than ever before for those who are looking to start in content creation. That's what me and Javert spoke about on our recent live stream. What you're about to hear is actually the highlights from that live stream. So here's some advice from me and Javert.
What sort of content first made you look at the screen and go, wow, how did they make that? How did they do that?
First time I ever went, wow, was the Death Star exploding.
Original Star Wars.
Original Star Wars, yeah. Like, absolutely. I still remember, I think I've talked about it before on the channel. Like, my dad coming home from school, my dad picking me up and being like, we're going to watch this film. And then afterwards, because it was a VHS, it then went on to, like, the bonus content, where then I was like, oh my God, they were doing it with toys. They blew up toys.
Yeah, real models were practically
just real models. Yeah. And stuff like that like made me go, wow, okay, this is something that I want to do.
There was a movie that came out in 2009 called 2012. Loads of crazy destruction sequences. And I specifically remember looking at this and being like, how did they do this in such a realistic way? So for me, I think it was 2009, so I would have been 14. 14-year-old me is looking at this and thinking, how did they do that? So I went off and I made this in Paint. It's that sort of thing where it's like inspired by something, creating it yourself, even though it is terrible, you learn. And you learn how to be just a little bit of an artist and a little bit of whatever the tool is that you're using. Everything that I have taken inspiration from in the past is an attempt to learn, like, how do they do this specific shot in this movie?
You're breaking down what makes it good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when you try and recreate that, you fail sometimes and you also succeed. So that's how you actually learn. Yes, it's okay to copy stuff. Don't pass it off as your own, but it is a great opportunity to learn how they do it because you're looking at professional work. Yeah. It's like, what do they do that I don't currently do at the moment?
Yeah.
Minigun, I got it.
Yeah, there's a minigun. You got the minigun?
There it goes.
Okay, there it is. This was actually from me and some friends looking at a Film Riot tutorial. Yeah. And being like, we could do that. Yeah. We made a little sketch around it and turned it into, like, I was shooting stuff in my garden and then using a friend as a target. And so you take what you learn and then you apply it to your own.
And it's just fun.
Yes.
But you're also learning at the same time, which is the best type.
All I've been doing is chasing the phantom grin of that, where it's just like the enjoyment of being on set, having friends there and being like, no, we're going to make something awesome today. And like, I think that's what you need to do when you're starting out, is just have fun with it.
One of the first big tips I have for you guys today is in terms of getting started in this content creation field, whether it's filmmaking, whether it's video editing or visual effects specifically, save your work. Really cool to look back 1 year, 2 year, 5 years down the line and see just how much it's actually changed. Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever it is, hard drive, just be sure you can access it because in 5 years it is 100% going to be worth it to look back. In terms of another big tip, try at least one new thing with every project, whether it's like dipping into character creation or dipping into a new software, which is a massive thing, but sticking a bit of color grading on if you've never done that before. That is how you learn and that is how you progress your skills. It's also how you find what you're not interested in and what you are, which is quite important later on in terms of getting a job.
What made you start doing tutorials? When
HitFilm first came out, so this was 2011. I'd been video editing for 2 or 3 years at that point, and I was specifically interested in visual effects, and I knew that HitFilm was new and wouldn't have tutorials. The tutorials, it's just helping people and it's being supportive and it's being like, I've created this cool thing, here's how you can do it too. It's sort of giving it back because that's how I learned. It's like learning it twice when you explain it to other people. You go through it. It's kind of like studying basically. You're just going over it, twice, 3 times trying to make this tutorial and you learn the software that much better. Do you believe in the grind mindset, this sort of thing where it's like, work until 2 a.m., don't save your work, and then when it crashes, redo it all? And because I don't. I'll tell you right now, if you're up all night doing stuff, you probably did not plan correctly. And I don't think there's ever been a project where I like kill myself trying to complete it because it's just not healthy, and it's just, you shouldn't really be doing that.
I'll agree with that. With it's not healthy to do all the time. But I'm very much on the side of like, I would not be where I am now with the skills that I have now if I hadn't done that before.
Yes.
So I put in those hours, I've put in the time to make sure that I can hit this mark now.
2 different sides of the coin here.
Yeah.
There may or may not be a right answer. I will never advocate for crunch or grind or stuff like that.
But the thing is that now I'm on your side then.
But yeah, you fit it around you where you can, and I feel like it's easy for students to get stressed when they're not creating because they feel like they need to. They feel like they need to.
Like it shouldn't be a pressure. It should really come naturally, and that's like the one thing to kind of like, because the moment that you apply the pressure, you're gonna hit every roadblock. You're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna.
Yeah.
Do you like a question?
Yeah.
I love one.
I think that my work is really bad when in fact it is quite okay or even good, but I'm seeing all those little mistakes.
I think this is a corridor tactic where it's you get it to 90%. Because that last 10%, you'll spend 90% of your time.
And nobody's going to notice.
And nobody's going to notice. I know that I could go on for days changing and adding stuff.
Yeah.
But no one's going to know. You get it to the point where it's like, cool, okay, it ticks all the boxes that I needed it to.
Yeah.
And the deadline is this point, so I want to make sure that, yeah.
When it comes to color grading or visual effects, taking a step back and just not looking at it for a day or two if you can. That is a tip that I do on purpose, actually, is take a break if I can afford to. In terms of like quality checks and making sure that it's good, it can be very useful to take a step back and notice those things. There are always going to be people who are better. Like it's a fact.
Yeah.
Like it's very hard to be the best at the world at anything. So that doesn't mean you should stop. It means that there will be a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And that gap is going to get smaller, but it's always going to be there. Like you and I have been doing this for 10 plus years. There are things that I can't do that I want to learn how to do in Unreal, in 3D, in CGI, and stuff like that. The gap is always going to be there. It's going to get smaller over the years, and eventually you will be proud of what you make by doing things like taking breaks and trying new things every time, and eventually you will sort of create things that other people aspire to make.
Yeah.
So you eventually come back around to the start. I can guarantee that you won't get there if you don't make stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't practice.
The gap is always going to stay bigger if you don't try.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to fail, you have to make mistakes, you have to learn from them, and just keep making stuff. Again, save it, because you'll be able to look back. I'm going to keep saying that.
Yeah.
And you have to keep going. You have to. Otherwise, you'll always, like you said, have a massive gap between where you are and where you want to be.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, if you are looking to get started in content creation, then HitFilm is the perfect place to start. There's a link down in the description of this video that will take you directly to FXhome.com, where you can download and get started today. We really enjoyed this live stream and a bunch of you showed up to watch, so thank you for that. And if you want to see more, then head on over to twitch.tv/FXhome. This video looks like it's also going to be great for you, so I highly recommend you going to check that out, and I might see you in the next video.